Now, finally, if we take a look at how the colonists viewed this, obviously they were unhappy about the fact that they were not being represented in Parliament in London. We have the phrase taxation without representation, which is huge during this period. But it wasn't so much that they didn't have representation in Parliament. It was more the fact that they felt they could tax themselves, govern themselves, and they didn't think that the British needed to be interfering as much as they were in their affairs. So there's going to be a lot of opposition and a lot of active protest. We talked about the Virginia House of Burgesses before. Remember, they were the representative assembly in Virginia. They passed something called the Virginia Resolves, which essentially is saying that only Virginia can tax Virginians. Now, this doesn't have any actual legal authority. It's more just a statement of protest, because obviously something passed by a colonial assembly is not going to be able to overrule British Parliament. So it was more a statement than it was an actual legal binding principle. But it did show how opposed to these policies they were. There was the Stamp Act Congress, which was a meeting of delegates from many of the different colonies. This is going to be kind of a preview of what's going to come down the road with the Continental Congress later. But they are meeting together because they do want to petition the king for these grievances that they do have. We do see some fighting, some riots, a little bit of looting take place in some of the larger cities, particularly Boston. Boston is going to kind of be one of the lead locations for this. Massachusetts is going to be a place where we're going to see some of the most early indicators that something's coming as we do get closer and closer to the Revolution. The Sons of Liberty are a group that's going to be actively promoting this. Some people might look at them as almost being kind of a terrorist group, in the sense that they definitely terrorized British officials. We see tarring and feathering, things like this, and it's done to protest what's going on in the colonies. It was very violent. There's no doubt about that. They felt they were justified based on how they were being treated. Now, eventually, the British are going to back down on the Stamp Act. They're going to repeal that in 1766. One of the reasons is because one of the ways the colonists protested, in fact, one of their favorite and the most common ways to protest, was simply by boycotting British goods. And one of the prime reasons why you have colonies is for economic gain for the mother country. And if Britain is not able to sell their goods, if they're losing out economically on this, then they're going to suffer. So because the American colonists were very effective in these boycotts, ultimately the British are going to back down. Okay, well, that's it for this time. Everything so far should have been in your notes, but we can continue this, this discussion now. If you have any questions, comments, anything that came up in this that you feel like needs to be addressed a little bit more, or you're just not sure about, first thing you can do is you can go back to Facebook and you can comment on the comment section underneath this video. So you can ask a question, you can bring something up. I can answer it, or any other student out there. You guys feel free to answer it as well. If you see a question's been asked and you know the answer, or you want to bring something up about that, feel free to go ahead and post it. It's supposed to be interactive, so you do have that option. If you prefer to get in touch with me directly, you can certainly just shoot me an email, and that's another option that you have, so that we can kind of take care of things that way. Okay, that's basically everything that we have for this time. So again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, that's it.